Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So if you haven't guessed by the title, this video is all about my first trimester up until 15 weeks, because I am now pregnant with baby number 4, which might come as a bit of a shock to some of you after my horrific HG pregnancy with Ellie, who has just turned 9. If you are a long member of the channel, which if there's anybody left I'd be quite surprised, because I haven't really done any vlogging or videos properly for a good few years now, but I am pregnant with number 4 and I thought I would document it on here and yeah, just tell you all about it really. So just for a quick recap, I've got 3 girls currently. I've got Sophie, who is 18, Amy, who is nearly 15, and Ellie, she's just turned 9. My husband has got a son from a previous relationship, and we've obviously got Ellie together. So with my first 2 pregnancies, I didn't have any sickness or anything like that. With Ellie, on my honeymoon, I started to get really sick and come home from honeymoon and then spent the next 16 weeks in and out of hospital, lost 3 stone in weight. I was sick constantly dehydrated, and I had hyperemesis gravidarum, which was absolutely horrific. I took my sickness tablets throughout the whole pregnancy, but after about 16 weeks I did lead pretty normal life. I didn't have to stay in bed anymore after 16 weeks. So obviously when I had that, I was like, I'm never ever having another baby again. I'm not going through that. It was absolutely torture to me, to my family, you know, mental health wise as well. It was not a good time, but anyway, she's absolutely perfect and she's now 9. When Ellie was nearly a year old, I actually found out I was pregnant again. Totally unexpected. I think I was like 4 or 5 weeks when I found out, and I just went into panic mode because I was like, oh my god, I can't deal with HG again, and everything like that. And I just thought to myself, right, if I get HG, then unfortunately I don't think I can carry on with the pregnancy. It was a really hard decision, but as the weeks went by, I didn't actually get sick. I think I got to like 7 weeks and I hadn't been sick, hadn't felt sick or anything. So we decided to go ahead with the pregnancy. I then went for an early scan on Ellie's first birthday, the morning of her first birthday, and unfortunately I found out the baby was actually ectopic, and obviously it wasn't a viable pregnancy, so I had to go through all of the procedure to unfortunately end that pregnancy, which did mess me up for a few months. David said we can try again, but a few years went by and we hadn't really spoke about it. And then I told him I did want a baby again, and it took him a couple of years to say yes. And then about 3 years ago, we decided that we were going to start trying. So yeah, this is where it's a bit mad, but every single month I backed out. I was like, no, I can't do it. And then we decided to go on holiday, so we put it on hold for 6 months, went on holiday, was meant to start trying again, and again I backed out every single month. Then we booked another holiday, again we postponed it, and then when we got back we were like, look, we have to do this now, because by this point like 2 years had gone by and we still hadn't actually tried properly. So I was like, yeah, I'm up for it. But again, every single month when it come to ovulation, I just backed out because I was that petrified of getting HG again that every month I just went into panic mode and I couldn't do it. So then by now we're like 3 years later, and I turned 41 last year, so I'm actually going to be 42 when the baby's born. But it got to a point last year where we were like, we've really got to crack on with this, because if we don't, then, you know, I'm going to get too old, and I didn't want to be any older than what I am now. I mean, ideally when we first started trying I was 39, so that's just shown you how long it's took. But anyway, I hadn't actually had a period since October, and I was tracking my ovulation every single day. I've been tracking it for years, so I know my body normally ovulates on like cycle day 14 of a 28-day cycle, but my last period was actually in October, and then I never had a period at all in November, and obviously then it was December. I kept doing my ovulation tests and negative, And then in December, at the beginning of December, I got an ovulation test and it was positive. So obviously we did the baby dancing, and then I was testing every day after that. Well, I think I started testing at like 6 DPO or something, and I was like, nah, I'm 41 now, I'm not going to get pregnant the first time that we try. But sure enough, on cycle day, well, I did a test really late on cycle day 8, and it was only like a cheapy one. And after a few minutes I looked at it and it was negative, so I just like put it to the side and dismissed it. And then in the morning, just as David was going out, I thought I'd do a clear blue digital early one, 6 days earlier. So as he was getting in the car outside, this pregnancy test was loading, and just as he sat in the car, I looked and it was pregnant, and I was like, oh my God. So I'm knocking on the window of my bedroom and he saw me, and I was like, come back in, and he's like, what the hell's the matter? And I just showed him this test, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe it. I was in absolute shock. I was like, what have we done? I can't have HG again. I went into like full-blown panic mode, but he just gave me a hug and he said, look, it will be fine, we'll be fine. So yeah, that was cycle day 9 when I actually found out, and I then looked at the cheapie from the night before and there was actually a line on it, so I obviously looked at it too early. So I found out a week before Christmas at cycle day 9 that I was pregnant. So me and David just kept it a secret between ourselves, didn't tell the kids, didn't tell my family, didn't tell David's family, didn't tell anybody. I just wanted to get Christmas out of the way just to see how I felt. And yeah, from 4 weeks to, I can't remember when I had my first scan, 4 to 5 weeks I had no symptoms whatsoever. 5 to 6 weeks I had no symptoms whatsoever. My boobs were, oh hang on a minute, the doorbell's just gone. Well, I'm probably sat in a different position now, but where was I? Yeah. Whew, out of breath. All I've done is run downstairs. Yeah, so weeks 4 to 6 I didn't have any symptoms whatsoever. Wasn't tired, didn't feel sick. Boobs slightly achy, but nothing to write home about. So because I'd had an ectopic before, I was entitled to an NHS scan at 6 weeks to make sure everything was okay. But 3 days before that, I was like, I cannot cope anymore. I need to know if everything's okay. So I booked a private scan. And I was, let me look at the scan picture. According to their dates, I was 5 weeks, 6 days when I went for this scan. And on the way there, I was saying to David, look, please be prepared that it's an ectopic again, because I feel exactly the same as I did with the ectopic. I don't feel the same as I did with Ellie. Obviously by 5 weeks with Ellie, I was sick as a dog. This time, nothing whatsoever. So we went to the private scan, absolutely papping our pants in case there was nothing there. But I'll show you the picture. I'll just cover my information. That's the first scan we had. So on there, she said she could see the sac, the fetal pole, is it? She said was just starting to develop, and she measured me at 5 weeks, 6 days. So even though you can't really see anything on that photo, she said it was definitely in the right place. So that eased our worries about it being ectopic. And then literally 2 days later, the difference in the pictures is absolutely crazy. So this was 2 days later. So to go from literally nothing in the sac, in there, to that in 2 days was absolutely crazy. So we was reassured. I think I went back to the private scan a week later because she couldn't see anything really on the first one. She said, come back in 9 days or something and we'll rescan you like for free. So this is the next scan I had, which was 6 weeks, 5 days with her measurements. So she was saying to me, how do you feel? How do you feel? And I was like, I still feel fine. Like, it's absolutely bizarre that I don't feel sick. Boobs aren't hurting, not really tired of anything like that. And then it got to, yeah, I think I was about 7 weeks, and that's when I started to feel a bit pants. Very tired, no energy. The funny thing is, I didn't really feel sick in the day. I didn't feel sick in the morning when I woke up. I felt sick from about 2 o'clock in the afternoon onwards, and from about 7 weeks, from about 5 o'clock, the curtains were shut, I was in my bedroom, and I just laid in bed with my eyes shut, and I went to sleep every night at about 6 or 7 p.m, and then woke up in the morning. And that happened for about 2 or 3 weeks. I started taking my anti-sickness tablets again. The ondansetron and cyclozine made me feel okay in the day. Every single morning I have not woken up and felt sick. Maybe like once or twice, but throughout the whole time I haven't actually woke up feeling sick. The worst time for me has been, yeah, 2 o'clock in the afternoon till I go to sleep at like 6 or 7. So I haven't got HG this time, I'm pleased to say. The sickness and everything is nowhere near like it was with Ellie. During the first 12 weeks, I did not throw up. I was not sick once. I just felt sick every afternoon and evening. I couldn't do anything after like the school run, and sometimes David had to do the school run for me in the afternoon. I thought it would be the school in the morning that I would have an issue with, but that was absolutely fine. So for a few weeks I never really left the house. I just stayed at home, stayed in bed, didn't even watch TV or anything because I felt quite rotten. But definitely not HG this time, which I'm so thankful about. So I'm actually now 14 weeks 5 days, and from weeks 7 to 12 I was just taking on ondansetron and cyclozine, and it was evenings that I was struggling with. And then once I hit 12 weeks, I've actually been sick about 6 times in the last 3 weeks. Normally after eating my evening meal is when I've been sick. And the worst thing for me is drinking. The thought of that makes me feel sick. And the amount of times that I've actually like balked because I've drank something, it's not the food, it's always been drink. And when I've had my evening meal, I've had a drink as well. And I think it's the drink that's making me be sick, not the actual food. Or I just have to make sure I eat like every hour and a half. In my car I've got snacks, in my coat I've got snacks, everywhere I've got snacks, because I feel sick if I haven't got the snacks and I don't eat regularly. I've had that horrible taste in my mouth, but that's died off now, thank God, because that used to make me feel sick as well. I still haven't had sore boobs really. It's been more nausea and feeling really tired and exhausted, and like getting out of breath just going down the stairs, for example. But yeah, weeks 12 to nearly 15 I have been sick about 6 times. I'm trying to think what else. Last weekend I tried to reduce my sickness tablets, and for 2 days straight I was feeling sick all day and all night for 2 days. So I decided that I'm going to just go back on the sickness tablets, the full dose. So now it's back to feeling fine all day, but then on an evening, it has gone now from 2 p.m. It's now like 4:30, 5 p.m. when I start to feel sick. So literally from the minute I wake up to about tea time, I'm fine. I'm still tired and knackered and don't have a lot of energy, but I don't really feel sick. I still have to eat regularly. So yeah, I've had quite a few scans, and then I went for my 12-week scan. Well, actually, I've went for a few more scans. I've just literally cut out like loads of it. This isn't that clear, but this was 8 weeks 5 days. And then I had one at 9 weeks 5 days. This is another one at 9 weeks 5 days. And then we went for our 12-week scan, and that's the little baby. So the difference, like, throughout the whole first 12 weeks is absolutely mind-boggling. I know it's baby number 4, but it still blows my mind how a baby can just grow and, you know, be a baby. It's crazy. But yeah, because I'm now over 40 and I'm a bit overweight now, with all my other pregnancies, I was literally 7.5 stone each time. So I had no issues, but unfortunately, being content, married, and in your 40s, I've put on about 4 stone in weight since my last pregnancy. So technically, I'm like 3 kilos over my BMI or something, because of my height and everything. So cut a long story short, I'm now consultant-led this pregnancy, which means that I get extra scans and a consultant to chat to and all that sort of stuff. And in 2013, I had a smear test that come back with SIN3, bad cells, which is the last stage before it would have turned to cancer. So I had the LET treatment where they burn all of the bad cells away, and apparently that could have shortened my cervix. So the consultant rang me and he said that he would like me to have a scan, which I've got in April, to check the length of my cervix. And I was like, well, I've had a baby since then, which was Ellie, and no one mentioned my cervix at all. No one checked it. Like, I just had a normal delivery. There was no issues whatsoever. So I said, I'm sure my cervix is fine. Like, do I really have to have it? But he said, yes, just for peace of mind, I'd like you to have it. So I'm going to have that. And then also, I'm going to have growth scans at 33 weeks, 36 weeks, and 39 weeks. And also, he said that because of my age and because I've had 3 vaginal births, and because my BMI is a bit above what it should be, apparently I have to have blood thinning injections from 28 weeks until birth, I assume. So I've got to do that myself. I don't know if it's every day at the minute or weekly, I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty sure he said it was every day. We go abroad when I'm 26 weeks pregnant, and then we promised the kids that we would take them to Euro Disney in France in July. We've booked it, and I must be absolutely out of my mind, but I'm going to be 35 weeks pregnant, walking around blooming Disney World in summer. Oh, it's going to be knackering for sure, but we did promise the kids, so we're going to do it. And yeah, I'm just trying to think what else I can update you on. I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, thank God I haven't got HG. I will show you my belly, but like I said, I'm now 4 stone heavier than I was the last time I was pregnant. But I have actually got like a bump now, so I will try and show you that somehow. So here's my bump. I do want to do more vlogs now that, you know, I'm pregnant, and I always look back on Ellie's pregnancy videos, and you know, I did a lot of day in the life videos when the kids were really little. Now they've all like grown up, it's quite sad that I've missed a few years uploading on YouTube, so I'm hoping that I can get back into it again. So I do appreciate it if you've followed me, you know, from years ago, or if you're new here now, then thank you, and I hope you will subscribe. I'm hoping to do more updates as the weeks go by, and yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.